2012 is set to be one of the biggest years of gaming. We have the launch of the Wii U, the promise of future consoles to come in the future. However, it is this reporter's opinion that 2012 will be one of the biggest years for another reason. This is the year, in my opinion, that the game changes completely. The year that a new enemy to the video game industry, an enemy that has never before been seen or experienced, is about to take effect. And that enemy is Apple. The reason why I say Apple is the biggest threat to the gaming industry, because whatever industry Apple decides to enter, they often leave nothing but casualties of war left behind. They are a company that thrives on blue ocean strategy and innovation at its highest form. Apple, a company that simply, whatever they decide to do, they simply master it and accomplish it well. Whether you love Apple or you hate Apple, the undeniable fact about Apple is this. Without Apple, can you imagine the little innovation that we would see in our market today? Whether it be from smartphone to the music industry, Apple has left its footprint on everything that they've touched. And the one industry that they have not touched yet, that is just kind of flown below the radar, some analysts predicted that it could never be touched, the gaming industry itself. And this reporter will explain to you why, in his opinion, the market is ripe, the time is right, everything, the star alignment, if you believe in those sort of things, just joking around. But no, literally, everything is set for Apple. Now, talking about this subject, the first thing that I want to address is what could Apple actually do for the gaming industry that as a whole would be a benefit to the industry. Start off with one thing: fragmentation. Some of us are familiar with that term if you are a poor, and I'm sorry guys, if you're an Android, you've experienced fragmentation in the worst form. Multiple operating systems all over the place that do not interact well with one another. The one thing that Apple could do for the gaming industry is introduce a smooth ecosystem where everything communicates well with one another, such as the way Apple products generally tend to do. The limitation be from the smartphone to the home console to the PC will be one smooth, fluid motion that would seamlessly work well. Now, the gaming industry has never experienced anything like that before. We've seen small iterations of it, with whether it be the 3DS communicating with the Wii, or the DS communicating with the Wii, or Vita is actually planning on communicating with the PS3. But Apple, a company that dares to think differently, will probably take it to the next level with smooth integration across all platforms on the same type of game. iPad 3. One of the biggest, most illustrious products that has ever graced the world in quite some time, is set to arrive on March 7th. This day could be the final nail that actually introduces Apple into the new gaming industry. The quad-core power, and ideally it will be quad-core powered, but the real power is with the Retina display. Now, how many of us have experienced HD visuals on a handheld device before? And some argue about whether this is considered a handheld device. It's a 10-inch tablet, so it's a bigger handheld device, but it is still nothing compared to my 46-inch LCD LED. So I consider this still to be a handheld. Nothing that we've ever seen before has ever had the resolution that we are prepared to see with the iPad 3. Now, what does this mean? This means simply all games created in a 1080p format will be cross-platform compatible, which means whether you're playing on your iPad or whether you're playing on your TV at home, the picture quality should look nearly identical. We've never seen that before in the gaming industry. Smooth integration with one creative content able to be purchased across multiple platforms, whether it be the handheld or the console. The very notion of an individual being able to play a game on his console and then turn around and walk out the door with his tablet and continue on with the same game is a notion that's never been done before. The groundwork is set for another reason. If anyone has been listening with the new operating system Mountain Lion, one of the things that Apple has integrated into it is AirPlay to the Apple TV. Which means, and then one of the things that they slightly highlighted, and other news analysts have also highlighted on the fact that with this new feature, individuals will be able to have that full complete experience, whether you are on your tablet or if you are on your PC, or in fact if you're just on your Apple TV at home. To even mention this, one must mention also the power of AirPlay. And the reason why I say these are key features is this: the Wii U is set to launch sometime this year. But what is one of the key selling factors of the Wii? That's right, the integration between the tablet itself and the console. Something that Apple has already currently mastered, and mastered it in a way that no one else has before. Again, decrease in fragmentation in the game console industry alone would open up avenues that has never been seen before. A true integration between game console, media, and productivity would exist. There's never been anything before that has been able to bridge the gaps in all three areas. Some argue that a game system is just strictly a game system. Why must such a limitation be placed on a device if it has the capabilities to be more than that? That is something that Apple will show and bring to the market that no one else has done before. Hulu, Netflix, all these little things that game systems are currently struggling to bring on their platforms, and even in the UI is not exactly as smooth as it should be at times. Apple has already mastered all of these hurdles. And to go a step further, the biggest argument that I've heard to why Apple would not do well in the gaming industry is, yeah, it's right, the company does not produce first-party titles. The problem with that argument, and I'll be honest, 10 years ago, if you would have told me such a thing could have happened, I would have told you you were nuts. However, this cycle, more than any other cycle before, has proven to us that the first-party title does not necessarily ensure success. Sony, this generation, has just an endless amount of first-party titles that did not perform on par. Now, a developer-friendly platform such as the Apple environment, individuals will be able to create any and all type of games and applications for the system. The power that Apple has and the leverage that they has is they're not limited to the typical quote-unquote rules that exist for the current gaming industry model, whether that be price point, whether that be specs, features, whether that be social interaction. They are not limited. It is a brand new clean slate for Apple. Apple is free to do anything that they see fit. With an application store that already has the seamless integration that most of us, and just even talking about that is another key area, seamless integration with your purchases. How many of us have used our smartphones and we have now become accustomed to that smooth integration we have when we just purchase an app and the app is ours and it just effortlessly uploads to whatever device we have, whether it uploads to my iPad as well as my iPhone. I love the seamless integration that I have. I currently do not have anything remotely like that on my handheld. My 3DS, it feels clunky to me when I try to navigate through their eShop. And if you're a PS Vita fan, you know similar experience. Now, this is a lot in one take, but it's a huge subject. And I could go into detail about the specs of the iPad, blah, 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 and all that. I don't think we need to go there. The important thing is the iPad, the Apple TV, the iPhone 4S, or even for that note, the iPhone 5 will all have enough hardware and software that is so well integrated that it will be hard, quote unquote, for companies such as Sony and even companies such as Microsoft to continue to compete if Apple were to decide to get serious. And some of us feel that as long as we use touch interface controls, that Apple could never be considered a threat. One key feature that I saved for the last is how many of you are well aware of the true, quote unquote, capabilities of Bluetooth. And if you are well aware of the new Bluetooth that has been integrated into, quote unquote, the iPhone 4S for that matter, and without a doubt the new iPad 3, using a controller will no longer be a limitation that exists for the Apple environment, if it ever existed at all before that. These are just my thoughts. Please leave a comment, express your opinion, express your viewpoint. But no matter what, March 7th will mark the beginning of something that we've never seen before. And to all gamers, just because the giant has not chosen to enter the fight doesn't mean he's not looking to. He may just be waiting for the right opportunity. These are all my thoughts.